Okay, this is the most important thing you can understand after the dismissive avoidant breakup. You don't want them back. You just want the hit of dopamine. Relationships with unavailable people are not attractions, they're addictions. The reason is because when you're dating an unavailable person, you're not actually in a real relationship. Nothing ever goes below the surface, and you're not actually getting to know each other on a deeper level. Even if it feels like you are, you're not. What's happening is this dismissive avoidant person comes into your life very quickly. They flood you with validation and acceptance. They love bomb you. This literally shoots off so much dopamine and oxytocin in your brain, so you are feeling fucking amazing. And what happens? You get addicted to that feeling. So you're like, oh my God, this feels so good. I've never felt this good. This is amazing. This person is perfect. We're soulmates, blah, blah, blah. All right, as the relationship progresses, what happens? They start to pull away. This is just like when I was in my addiction and the very first time I tasted heroin. Nothing was ever as good as that first time, and forever I would always be chasing that first time. This is what happens in these relationships, is that for the rest of the relationship, we are chasing the dopamine. We are chasing the feeling of the very beginning of that relationship, when it felt so good, when it felt so perfect, when this person loved us so much. The more that they pull away, the more desperate we get. The more they pull away, the more addicted we are. What happens when it finally ends and they cut us off cold turkey? We go into actual physical withdrawal. That is what causes your body to start craving them like a drug. You don't want your ex back. You just don't want to feel like this. It's just the same thing as a drug addiction. You know, like when I was kicking dope, it was like, I don't actually want to like be strung out again. I just don't want to be in withdrawal anymore. But at a certain point, like I had to face the fact of like, okay, if I want a better life, if I want to actually be sober and like not be strung out anymore, I'm going to have to deal with that uncomfortable period of time in the beginning where I have to go through withdrawal and I have to deal with that mental obsession for a little while and work my recovery. This is the same thing as a breakup with an avoidant or a narcissist. There is that period of time in the beginning. It may range in time for different people, but there's going to be that physical withdrawal feeling for like the first week, and then there's going to be a mental part of it that is going to come after, and you just have to get through it. Trying all these fucking methods to try to get your ex back, trying to say and do all these perfect things is desperation. That is you trying to use. Because what's going to happen if your ex comes back? Like, let's say everything goes perfectly according to plan. Like, oh, I do all the right things. I have all the right tricks to get them back. And then they come back. They're going to do the same fucking thing all over again. All over again. Even if they're the one that wants to come back, they're going to do the same thing all over again because people don't change in a month. And there was a small period of time during this breakup where I was like, I don't care if he does it again. I just want to be around him. Luckily, I was able to get through that. And now I'm finally at the point where I'm like, no, there's no way I am allowing him back in my life to do this to me again. No, I'm not doing that. Because if I allow him back in my life, then I'm fucking up the course correction that I'm trying to make in my life. I want to get closer to my goals and aspirations. I want to get closer to the person who is meant for me, not further away. And if I'm trying to like get my ex back, that's me getting further away. That is us thinking that we have some control over other people. We don't. Your ex left. They don't want to be with you. And if you take away any access to you and do all these things, right? And enough time goes by and your ex finally starts to wonder about you because they've been able to create an idealized version of you in their head again, they're only coming back because they also need a fix, okay? That's how it works with insecure attachment. It's just like people using each other. We have to get through this uncomfortable period so we can get to the point where we are secure. That's where we want to get to. That's where we're going to have a real connection and real compatibility with someone. How much longer do we want to keep having these surface, fucked up relationships that make us feel horrible?